Hello there, Denny here from EPCOT, and I am joined today by a friend. This is James, aka
Hot dogs at Disney. And if you want to get more specific, hot dogs on the People Mover.
There you
You
go.
can find me on Instagram.
Yay! So definitely, you want to be able to look James up on Instagram. James, can I tell? Can I say the hot dogs are real? Is that okay?
100%, yeah. Each and every, it's the question I get most often: are the hot dogs in my photos real? Second question is, do I eat the hot dog afterwards?
Ooh, do
And
you?
no, it's like I don't know. These things are so covered in germs and whatnot, and it's just gross.
No,
Uh,
that's a good thing, James.
yeah.
Those are good decisions being made. James and I are here in EPCOT on a gorgeous weekend afternoon, and it's the Festival of the Arts. And the Festival of the Arts is, as I mentioned in my vlog, talking about the inspiration station, Figment's inspiration station. It is almost the shortest of the festivals, and you could make a really strong argument for it being the very best of the festivals. And James, you brought up the idea of doing a little tag team here at the festival.
Yeah, so I'm known for obviously hot dogs, and I tend to lean savory, but something that I think over the last couple years I've gotten way more into sweets again, and so I am pumped about trying some sweet treats today.
Listen, James and I have put our noggins together. We have made a list and we're going to check it twice, and we're going to have some sweets today. So if you've never been to Festival of Arts for a few sweets, we hope that you feel like you have been by the time this video is done. We're off. We got a stop to make already, all right? See you there. There, coming to you from the Morocco Pavilion. We just went to, I don't know how you say it, Tangerine Cafe, but how do you say it?
I tend to go tangerine when
Tangerine.
I'm among friends. If I wanted to be fancy, or I was maybe on Jeopardy or something, I might say tangerine.
Okay.
I do know Morocco does have a French influence, so I think you tend
Yes.
to default to like a French pronunciation.
Ew. Tangerine. Okay, I like that. Anyhow, we've been there. We'll just default to Tangerine Cafe. Tangerine Cafe flavors the Medina. This is our first stop on our sweets adventure here at Festival of the Arts. Friends, we have the house-made crispy almond phyllo pockets with white chocolate pomegranate and milk chocolate orange. This is $4.75. And let's just stop for a second, James. Like the simple fact that we can be inside of Tangerine Cafe, because everything else at the festival, just about, there are a couple of exceptions, you're just walking up to a booth. It's a pop-up booth for the festival. Here you get to step inside Tangerine Cafe, which is actually the quick service, used to be the quick service for this pavilion. I don't know about you, but I love that space.
I do too, and you're right. With any of the Epcot festivals, no offense, like all the booths, they're just boxes.
Yes.
They're just boxes.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a shed
right.
that they stuck some food in and
Yeah.
all that, and it's wonderful. But here with Tangerine Cafe, you walk into a nice space, you get out of the sun, you get out of the rain if it's raining. It's air conditioned, but you also have a very beautiful space, good tile work.
Yeah.
One of the hallmarks of why I like the Morocco Pavilion so much is it's just beautiful.
Yes.
Like you can see that actual craftsmanship went into building this place. It's not just like a factory made,
No.
carbon copy kind of pavilion. It's a lot of time and effort went into it, and
Yeah.
you sort of, for the brief moment you're in there standing in line, you get a little bit of atmosphere and you kind of
Yep.
get into the spirit of the thing. And I really do like that about it.
Yeah, it is. You can also see the chefs doing their work right there, so it's so much fun to kind of see that happen right in front of you. So definitely take a moment to step into Tangerine Cafe, but definitely walk back here into the back of the pavilion, which is where it is. Restaurant Marrakesh not open yet. Not open yet. Soon, maybe eventually. That would be great. It's time to get to the sweets. You ready?
I am totally ready. I like that we're starting with this phyllo dough because it's almost like when you're doing a sweet treat marathon, It sort of acts as the dinner roll kind of appetizer
Oh,
portion.
okay.
You know, you're having something a little starchy,
Yeah.
a little bread-like. So this is a great way to kick it off.
No, for sure. So here we go. Grab a piece here. All right, there it is, and you get 3, which is really, really fabulous. So cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you.
Yum. All right, there's the bite. So you see the almond paste inside, and I'm getting some autumnal flavors, like, and sweet, and yes, they are flaky. It's phyllo dough, so it's falling everywhere when you bite into it.
I agree. I wouldn't say pumpkin spice, but sort of a harvesty fall sort of flavor to it. I don't know if there's allspice in there or cinnamon or something like that in the actual filling itself. This is awesome. One thing I will say is we had to wait a few minutes for this to come out, and you can taste that.
Yes.
Like, it's just made. This hasn't been sitting around. It hasn't sort of, congealed or anything like that, or like gotten cold. Nice and warm and flaky, and has that kind of just baked taste, which is great. When you eat a lot of Disney food and a lot of Epcot food, you run into the problem of things look very pretty, and it's kind of mass produced. There's no way around that. There's a lot of people here, but some things look better than they taste, and some things, do have a sort of like, when you're making that much food, it doesn't have an artificial taste, but you can tell that they're taking some steps in order to make it the shelf life a little longer or something like that. This tastes fresh. So this is one of the better things I've had sweet treat wise this year, or at a festival in general. This is great.
I agree completely. I concur on all points. There's definitely cardamom going on in there. It's warm, it's flaky, it's 3 nice portions, and you can kind of slurry it around in those sauces, and this is winner. Friends, there's sugar. So our sweet treats are off to a good start. We're going to finish these up, and we're headed out to our next stop. They're coming out. Ready to start walking? I think they're going to get some sun. All right, we are here in the Japan Pavilion from on high. We're up on the second floor, just outside of Teppan Edo right now, and Tokyo Dining, and we have an aerial view of the beautiful temple here in the Japan Pavilion, and we have our next sweet. Very excited about it. It is the Ichigo daifuku. It is mixed berry mochi, sweet azuki bean paste, and mascarpone. It is $6.75, and it is literally the cutest little thing. Look how sweet! I mean, I know you've already seen the B-roll, but my gosh, it's just so sweet. This is one great example, in my mind, James, of what makes the Festival of the Arts so different from the other festivals. Like, yes, every festival has pretty food, right? But it's so beautifully and artistically done. There's what appears to be a violet petal going on as well. The mascarpone is lovingly placed within the mochi, as are the one blueberry, the half of a blackberry, and then the half of the strawberry. So cute. So $6.75. This is going to be one of the pricier things that I think we see today. But
looking at the list that we had, this is on the pricier side. I will say one thing that is wonderful about the festivals is, and especially Festival of the Arts, gives you an opportunity to try stuff you might not try anyway. Like maybe you've heard about mochi online or something like that, and your town just doesn't have mochi. Here's a chance to try it at a relatively okay price point and all that. Right. And the festivals do that in general. Like, you can try a little bit of this. I've never had boba. I'll try some boba. Yeah. I've never sampled Indian food before. I've never sampled whatever it is. Yep. You can try little bits and pieces and get a taste for it. So
you're exactly right. And then you can go home and go, oh, now I need boba, or now I eat mochi. Okay, this is who I am.
A little bit like cutting into soft dough or raw cookie dough a little bit.
Oh.
So there's kind of like a gumminess, but it's that's kind of what makes mochi great.
Yeah.
Is it's soft and like spongy, and it's firm enough to kind of hold the shape. But it's just, it's fun to eat. It's soft and kind of has a good texture to it.
Oh, absolutely. So there's your azuki bean paste. There's the mascarpone cheese, which I'm thinking of mascarpone in Italian,
Yeah.
in Italian usage, but here it is at Goshiki at the Japan Pavilion.
So here goes. Mine is not as pretty as Denny's because I kind of mangled it a little bit.
You did a good job.
But the flavors are there, and it's gonna taste
There you
great.
go.
So
Cheers.
It's the chewiness of the mochi, which I like a lot. That's not a texture that's kind of for everybody. Maybe you're used to a cake consistency or a cookie, something a bit denser. This is sort of like a nebulous, sort of gummy, solid, liquid form kind of concoction.
It's almost like Play-Doh.
I enjoyed it a lot. I liked the cream flavor. The strawberry was really fresh. It wasn't mushy. The fruit wasn't mushy.
Yep.
Which is very nice. So that gave it some bite in terms of the strawberry is firm.
Yeah.
So with the mochi being on the softer side and all that, it was nice to have something to kind of sink your teeth into.
Absolutely.
And tasted very fresh too. I think that's a
Yeah.
common theme with some of the things we've tried today is a freshness about it. It doesn't
No, you're right.
hasn't been sitting around and all that. There's a just made quality to it.
Absolutely. It's the mascarpone is going to lend to it being sweet, so it is it is sweet. The mochi, yes, it is like you chew and you keep chewing and you keep chewing like
A little bit, yeah.
but it was really good. The azuki bean paste inside, really nice. That's also lends to it being sweet. Very fresh, very beautiful, very artistic. $6.75 is a bit much in my book. Yeah, because you get 2 bites. Really, it's a 2-bite snack, and I'd want the price point to be a little lower on that because the thing is with these festivals, and we've talked about it before, but it can rack up. The cost as you make your way around the festival really can start to stack up. And so for me, I'm not sure that I'm stopping again for this one. While it was good, I don't see the value in it like I see in other things. Like just take the phyllo dough, which, by the way, as we sat there and talked about it some more and finished the phyllo dough, it's akin to baklava. So if you like the flavors of baklava, the phyllo dough, the butter, the almond, you're going to like this snack. It's like a little baklava in your hand. It was so good. But like for $4.75, I got 3 generous portions.
Yeah. And relatively filling too. You talk about getting, full for the price you're paying for this stuff. That was a very good portion and a good deal. I'll say this. I like the flavor a lot. I think on paper someone could read it and be like, that sounds kind of weird. But the flavor itself is really good. It's not like a chocolate chip cookie where it's something I want every week or, I'm going to be craving all the time. But a couple times a year I could see myself going like, I kind of want that mochi thing right now.
Yep.
But so I have to be in a specific mood for this type of dessert. But also very, very good if you want to try something a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Okay, onward and upward. We have landed ourselves at the artist table at the American Adventure Pavilion, and we have waited in what I think was the longest line I have ever waited in at a festival. What do you think, James?
I would say festival wide, I have never been in a line that long, and we were discussing it in line. Something that happens in Florida when the weather is nice, like it is today, which is beautiful. It is 71-ish, somewhere around that. Everyone comes outside of their house and spends their time outside, and that includes the parks, especially EPCOT because it's so walkable and park-like.
Yeah.
So
and it eats people. I mean, so many people can fit into this park, and they are all in line at the festival booths right now. So we have gotten the Hummingbird cake, which really was my top of my list. How about you?
This was my number one must-do today. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What it has is the banana cake. There's pineapple with it. Then it's got coconut, pecans, and cream cheese frosting. And this little dollop right here is a banana sorbet.
Which I am intrigued by.
Yes,
I'm intrigued.
So first impression on the cake is it tastes like banana bread. So it has
Yes.
a banana bready sort of consistency to it. First off, so earthy, something like that, rather than cakey sweet. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Looking at a cross section of it, that's what it looks like. So we were talking earlier. My family, husband's side of the family, makes hummingbird cake. Like my husband's grandfather used to make it for his mom for her birthday. And so like it was the Southern Living recipe that was, well loved, and literally you mash a banana, you put in canned pineapple, nuts, everything goes in, and it's this chunky spice filled cake. It's so different than any other cake I've had. And then the Walt Disney World 50th cookbook came out, and Chef Art Smith's recipe for hummingbird cake that you can have at homecoming at Disney Springs was included in that cookbook. And I had to try his, like, okay, we have the time, tested and tried and true Southern Living recipe. Okay, Chef Art, bring it. Let's try yours. Do you know that Chef Art Smith's recipe is better than Southern Living? Like head and shoulders above. So that's the one that I've made twice now, and it's just so good. But this is very different. This is more of banana bread consistency, like you said, rather than it's dense,
Yes.
rather than a traditional hummingbird cake that really isn't overly dense. It has chunks of things going on. You can discern the banana and the pineapple, and of course the nuts. Try that banana sorbet.
I will. We were talking earlier too about your favorite flavors, your go-to flavors. My go-to is banana. So if I see banana, anything, banana ice cream, banana split, banana dessert, that is like I just have to have it. It doesn't matter how full I am. If I see that on the menu, I have to get the banana dessert. So that is.
I like bananas.
Let me get a taste of this.
Yep. It looks like banana baby food.
It's kind of like that. It has sort of like a jelly
Okay.
consistency to it. So it doesn't taste like a sorbet where a sorbet is very watery or melts in your mouth and ends clean. This is a bit more, I don't know. Again, it's sort of a thicker.
That is straight up banana baby food.
Yeah, right? So it's not a pudding.
I've had it.
Yeah.
I've had it because you always taste what your kiddo is eating. Let me just see. Gerber, is that you? I don't know that I like that. I was trying to couch it in a positive light.
When you're so looking forward to something, which I was with this cake, with this dessert, and it's just okay. Like I would say, it's just there's nothing necessarily terrible about it, but I'm not. It doesn't make me want to eat more of it.
Well, and when you've had the real thing, either at homecoming or you've made it yourself, or you've had it at a tea room or another place that does hummingbird cake, and then you have this, you go, okay, that's banana bread with a nice cream cheese icing. Because the cream cheese icing is nice. This is really, it's dolloped all the way down the top of the dessert. It is really nice, but it is straight up banana bread. So $4.75. I'm going to say skip it, and we're off to our next snack. We have made our way to El Artista Hambriento here by the Mexico Pavilion, the flan de coco. It is a coconut flan with guava sauce and whipped cream, and it looks like it's got a little toasted coconut on the tippy top. James, is that a light dessert that you're holding?
Well, so I got handed this thing, and it was just like, whoa, wait a minute. And I said to Denny, you have to hold this, which is an odd thing to say to somebody, like, hold this plate.
Hold this food.
Feel this plate. And yeah, it's hefty. It's sizable. There's a lot of calories, most likely. I don't
we don't think about that at Disney, James.
What creates this kind of density? I don't know, because it's not the real estate isn't that big.
No.
So, but anyway, I am pumped because I like custardy things.
Cheers.
cheesecakey in a way in terms of the consistency. So it's not overly flawny and custardy.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about it. Tiny bit firmer than I was expecting, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the flan itself has necessarily a discerning flavor to it.
No, it's adopting the guava sauce.
Yes.
The guava has a lovely bright note to it. It's sweet, but the flan is a vehicle for that guava sauce.
If you get a bite that has everything, really good. The flan by itself, just an okay flan.
Yeah.
But
There's plenty of the okay flan to share, though. If you'd like an okay flan. We are coming in for a landing. This is our last snack here at the Festival of the Arts for today. Forgive the dulcet tones of Test Track. We're right here next to the attraction. Modern is a brand new booth here at the festival this year. And here's the description of the booth itself. Modern morsels from the land and sea, appetizingly abstracted. I don't know. What does that mean?
it's a little like deconstructed dish, but not quite so deconstructed.
Like it looks like it's from deconstructed dish. So this is called the Tropics. This is Lilikoi mousse, guava cake, coconut cremeur, compressed pineapple, and mango gel. All for $5. So this is an impressively beautiful dish.
I feel like if you order this at an appetizer at a restaurant, they would bring out this much food, so it's a good quantity that you get.
It's kind of fun to see the compressed pineapple because we've seen the compressed watermelon in the Figment's Inspiration Station review. For the fruit pizza, you have compressed cantaloupe, so compressed melon. So they're into squishing their fruit this year. Squishy fruit. We've got the taste of guava going on here in this dish again, and also the same praline that we saw on top of the hummingbird cake at the artist table has made an appearance in the tropics. So that's good because I actually did enjoy that on the hummingbird cake. Everything else, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to show you what just happened. So here's the consistency of this. This is what has happened when you kind of...
It's got sort of a shell on the outside.
It does. Yeah. It does have a shell. Here we go. Cheers. Lilikoi is passion fruit. Mm-hmm. It's just another word for passion fruit.
I will say that's fabulous. It's all flavor.
Yeah.
Unlike the flan that we sampled earlier, the dessert itself is flavored. It's not relying on the toppings to flavor it. It's just really, really good.
Just lovely, fruity. That is packed with flavor.
It's got a creaminess to it, which is really nice too.
That's that mousse. I'm gonna try some compressed pineapple. Friends, it is pineapple. Nothing earth-shattering occurring here. Guava cake. Look how cute it is. Very pink.
It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I liked the first bite. I don't like the aftertaste. It was good, but then it has a funky kind of aftertaste to it. A funky little, I don't know.
It's like a powdered sugar taste at the end, like kind of.
It's also a texture. I feel like it just
a chalkiness.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is a chalkiness. Okay, the coconut cremeur. Okay. I like that it's coconutty. It kind of leans toothpaste.
It's not even coconut toothpaste. It doesn't really taste very coconutty to me.
No.
Yeah, just sort of neutral toothpaste.
Ooh. It's like baking soda. Baking soda toothpaste. Okay, so the highlight of the tropics is definitely going to be the Lilikoi mousse. Start, begin, and end. Friends, begin and end with that passion fruit flavor, because we talked earlier about what flavor do you want left in your mouth after a really good meal. That's the flavor you want left in your mouth. You agree?
That's what you want to end on. Like you go home with that flavor and you think about it later.
Yeah.
I think any of my favorite festival dishes are like that. A classic is the cheese soup in Canada.
Yes. Yeah.
That I think about that all the time. This
Do
is the
you?
kind of dessert that I will think about and be
Mhm.
like, wow, I wish I could have that again.
It's $5. You're going to find Modern over by Test Track, as I'm sure you've been able to hear the entire time we've been speaking. All right, we're going to wrap this whole thing up and with a few last thoughts on what you should skip and what you should not. All right, so it's time to wrap this up, James. We've had an adventure. We've had all afternoon. We've tried 5 different festival snacks and we've gotten our steps in. We have eaten our way around Epcot and we have definitely, and I think you probably know if you've reached this far in the video, high five to you. Thank you. Many thanks. But I think you've probably discerned what we would recommend and what we would say go ahead and skip. So let's start with the thing that we would recommend people try if they were to come this year.
Out of everything, and this is coming from someone who is primarily not a sweets person,
Yeah.
house-made phyllo pockets was number one for me. I thought that was just, it felt fulfilling. It had a really great flavor. It had the flaky crust. The inside was great. The almond, was it almond butter?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was an almond paste.
Almond paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just overall, I mean, when you eat something good,
Mhm.
and that was just instantly really good, and I just felt like, yeah, completely worth it for the price.
Yep.
And all the flavors work together really well.
Yeah, you and I are thinking along the same lines here. It was flaky and buttery and toasty and just everything you would want that to be. And I think more. Like I thought, oh, it's going to involve almond. No, it's got almond plus some. It's got all those lovely fall flavors going on. It's the chocolate orange drizzle was nice. The white chocolate pomegranate drizzle was nice. And like you said, I feel like we got value for what we spent. So that is absolutely a must do
You know what?
for this festival.
I will follow up with real quick. I
Yeah.
didn't have to search for a reason to like it or something
Ah.
something I liked about it.
Okay.
Some dishes, you're like, well, I like the coconut, or I like this aspect of it, or
Yep.
that part was great, or like maybe I might be in the mood for that again sometime. But this was just like flat out good.
Yes, no, I agree. Second in my book was the tropics. It was specifically the Lilikoi mousse. It was the little yellow donut looking thing on the plate. It had a lovely. The mousse was sitting on a very thin layer of sponge cake. It had it had been given a nice coating on the outside, powdery coating, which we've seen them use before here at the Festival of the Arts. It's also being used on other dishes presently at the Festival of the Arts. So it was neat to see, and that is a flavor, like that's the flavor I've got in my mouth right now, and I'm not mad about it.
Same here. It was bright.
Yes.
It was bright and refreshing and tasted
Yeah.
fruity in like a off the vine kind of way, not artificial. It wasn't an
Yes.
artificial Lilikoi
Yes.
taste to it. Sometimes where artificial fruit doesn't taste. It has like a
Yes.
syrupy thing to it, or there's something about it that's just a little bit off. This
Yes.
tasted natural. I guess that would be the word for it.
Speaking of artificial fruity taste, let's go to our skippable dish, which I think you and I are on this of a same mind on this. I think. What would you tell people? Absolutely, please, for the love of all things Festival of the Arts, do not get this dish. What would yours be?
This is a coin toss, a little
Oh,
bit.
Okay.
So
okay.
I will say the Hummingbird cake was my number one disappointment. It
Yeah.
was the treat I was most looking forward to, not in a way that I built it up, because you learn not to put your expectations on something.
Manage them.
Yes. But yeah, it was just really, it was dry, it was dense, didn't have a whole lot of flavor, none of it really, I don't think any of the components really shown.
No.
There's not one part of that where I'd say like, hey, that was really good. But
I liked the praline on top,
Okay.
or the praline. I think I'm mispronouncing that for those who are NOLA natives. But yeah, it was the banana sorbet. It was if you're telling us it's hummingbird cake and then it's not hummingbird cake, That's disappointing because I think that's a moment, and all of these festivals really are, where we kind of get to branch out a little bit. We were talking about that. Like, this is a way to try new flavors and tastes and the food of other areas of this great big world of ours. And you tell us there's a hummingbird cake, and you give us banana cake with some nuts and a praline and banana sorbet that missed the mark in texture and flavor.
Yeah, and you're making a cake or a dessert that has a name to it, and that brings a lot of expectations with it.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine. It was my first hummingbird cake.
Oh,
We
I'm
spoke
so
about that.
sorry.
I've just never had a hummingbird cake before, and that was my first one. It doesn't make me want to have a hummingbird cake again. But even though I know they're good ones are out there.
They're good. I promise.
Yeah.
I
So
promise. Go to
and
homecoming.
it really, the banana sorbet is like, if I had to
Yeah.
pick one very specific thing that was disappointing today, it's that. We've talked about flavors that we remember. I will remember that in a bad way. Like,
Yeah.
I remember bad tastes as much as I remember good tastes I've had. And yeah, just like, the feeling it gives you in your mouth is just really, just
Wasn't
off-putting.
Wasn't pleasant. But yes, definitely, if you were coming, we totally recommend those phyllo pockets. We would say to go for skip the flan in my book.
Yes. Flan was completely okay. It
Yeah.
just, the flan itself had no flavor. It's supposed to be coconut, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be coconut. It was not really coconutty. And then the mochi, the daifuku, small for the price that you pay in
Yeah.
my book. So I would say try something else in its place.
I would say the mochi, yeah, I would say skip that, but I really liked the way it tasted.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't repeat it, but it wasn't bad. I
Yeah.
actually did enjoy it. It's just a size and cost thing with it.
Yeah. So let us know, Festival of the Arts, what have you tried either this year or in years past? What is your favorite? Like, what would you recommend if somebody's coming to the festival for the very first time? Let us know down in the comments. I would absolutely love that. Would love to have a conversation about that with you. I want to add to my must-eat list. And if you have a cautionary tale about something to skip, I want to know that too. So please let me know down in the comments section. Thank you so much, James of Hot Dogs at Disney, for joining me today. It was so much fun getting to tag team the festival with you. How can people find you?
I am on Instagram. It's at Hot Dogs at Disney and at Hot Dogs on the People Mover if you specifically want to see photos of hot dogs on the People Mover. So
that.
that's me and where I'm at. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh
This
my
was
gosh.
wonderful.
It was so much
just a
fun.
delightful day and great memories and all that kind of stuff. So thank you.
Hey, you got it. You got it. Thank you. It was an adventure. Good times were had. That is for sure. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Denny_Sunderly. That's DENI_SUNDERLY. If you enjoyed this video, if you made it this long, way to go, way to go. But if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time a new video goes up, and share it with a friend. Thanks again for watching. Take good care, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.